Arise, minions, and welcome back to another episode of our Patreon one-shots here on this fine Small Business Saturday. As I said in the last one-shot, this is Small Business Saturday here in America, in the United States. And if you would like to support a small, veteran-owned business, the best way to do that is by joining us over on our Patreon. At even the $2 tier helps so much. So please head to the link down below. While you're down there, hit that Discord button. Join us, be a part of the community, and as always, on the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I get to do what the hell I want to these wonderful players here before me, and two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to unMadeGaming so we can do awesome, cool things like this for the future. Whew. With that, no previously, just welcome to space. It's going to be a good time, guys. Buckle up. We're going to space. You all are crew members, part of a mercenary outfit. You have all worked together before, in some capacity, and this is a mission much like any other ones. This is a continuously vague timeline in our world. So this is before the events of the giant dog monster on that mysterious planet. This is before the events of the Ouroboros space station and the Kerberos space station. When? Who knows? But as the derelict ship comes into view, your ship's automated docking procedures begin to flash to life. Targeting systems engage, and a series of mechanical clamping arms extend from the aft of the ship towards the derelict. Upon impact, several of the ship's HUD screens display all white, and a familiar room unfolds before you. A shadowed man sits against a wall of screens with a planetary horizon behind him. Voice garbled. Greetings. Your crew has been selected for a task of the utmost importance. We appreciate your candor and discretion in this matter. An anomaly was detected shortly after the receipt of a distress call from the Dark Star. Since then, she has been unreachable. Your task is to ascertain what happened to the ship, retrieve its cargo, and remove all evidence of the ship. End of message. Your ship lurches as the final clamps latch on to the derelict known as the Dark Star. This ship is a Juggernaut-class ship. It is a massive freight liner. The largest one you guys have ever seen. And you have just clamped on to the side of it. You guys sit in the cockpit, the bridge of your ship. What are you doing?
I would like to be running scans
on
the ship to see if there's any people.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me I think data gen. Roll me data gen. 2 successes. Okay, cool. So with the 2 successes on a data gen roll, you click along the keys as you pull up screens, and you're running environmental scans on this thing. What you find out is there are no reported life form signatures on the ship. There's also no reported power signatures on the ship, meaning that the reactor core is down. So this ship is a floating hunk of metal. Now, it might be that because the reactor is completely shut down, that even the internal configurations of the ship aren't reporting life signals out. But what you're getting is nothing. There's no feedback from the ship at all. It seems to be an empty hunk of metal.
Guys, I'm getting some weird readings. I think we're gonna have to get on the ship to do a systems update to try and figure out what's going on. I'm not getting anything from out here.
Did you check for ghosts?
Not this
Oh yeah,
time.
we always gotta check for those ghosts. You never know when they're gonna show up.
There's ghost ships all over this place.
Hopefully this isn't one.
What, are you scared of ghosts?
Haven't you heard all the rumors? Ships going through portals, appearing on the other side with no one left alive on board?
Oh, come on. Those are just ghost stories. Nothing that we can't help. handle.
Right. There's stories about ghosts.
Real life, actual ghosts.
Well, I don't know about you, but I personally haven't seen any ghosts yet.
That you know
That's
of.
how they get you.
I'm always on the lookout for ghosts. That's why they've never gotten me.
I'm gonna go to the door. Are we all ready to go in?
Yeah, I'll hop into my exoshell.
Okay. So this ship is equipped with 4 exoshells. So if you guys want to get on like full protective gear, Zariah, you would know that with the reactor being shut down, there's no life support. So there's a good chance that there's no gravity. There's a good chance that there is no oxygen on board.
Okay. We're gonna have to use the exo shells. We can't breathe or walk in there. We're gonna have to.
Just a reminder
Well-
for everyone: 8 hours of air. So we gotta make sure we get the life support systems back on first thing.
Well, if
Do-
you
do you
establish a
want me to
data
s-
link, I could work from here.
I mean, I can stay here and mind the ship as well.
So you would, Agincourt, you would know based on Zariah's scans. The two of you have worked together in a computer environment before. You can also read these same scans. There is no data link. There is no power to the ship whatsoever. So the reactor core has to be powered on physically before you can even link to the systems. So how that happens is entirely up to you guys.
I'm ready to go, I guess.
Okay.
You sure you don't want me to stay here and mind the ship?
If that's what you'd truly like to do, then go ahead.
I mean, but then if the ghosts get on here, I'm by myself. No, I'll come along.
That would be better.
It's hard to fight ghosts by yourself.
Yep. You at least need someone who's slower than you can run away from quicker.
That's true. So that sounds like Maruf is going. It sounds like Zariah is going. Who else is headed on the ship?
I'm going to head out with them.
Okay.
Already ready for my exosuit.
Yep. Agincourt, are you also headed out
Do
there?
y'all 3 want me to tag along? You all know I'm just a non-com.
Yeah, you run slower than me, so definitely come along.
Fine.
Okay, so the 4 of you head down through the bridge of your ship down to the lower levels where there's this massive tube that is extended out into the other ship. You 4 don your exoshells, full, your helmet's on. You have 8 hours of oxygen. While in the exoshell, you all take a -2 to agility. Pretty sure. Or -2 to dexterity. I think it's -2 to agility. Either way, you're slower in the exoshell. But it does grant you, I think, armor. So if you get stabbed, you'll be stabbed less. But you guys all don your armor. You head to the tunnel, and the door irises open, and you are able to begin your slow, bouncy spacewalk through the tunnel towards the interior, towards the exterior hull of this ship. And as soon as you get there, who's first?
Probably me.
Okay. As soon as you get there and you go through the open door procedures, you realize that as soon as you power up or attempt to power up the outdoor mechanism for it, there's no power.
There's no power to any of this. Agincourt, do you want to help me try and turn the power on?
We could, if we want to get the power, and we could route some power from our ship onto it for a little bit. But I don't know what I'll do with our ship. Don't want to stand up stuck in here like everybody else.
Is there a manual override of some kind? I mean, we did bring the tech guy along with us for
Yeah.
something.
Are you asking me or the tech guy?
I'm asking the tech guy.
Okay.
Let me check. So that would be.
So if you're looking
No.
for a manual override, that would be a technology roll.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of brush everyone out of the way, and there's a panel underneath the computer terminal that you can, like, kind of, unscrew, wrench open, that kind of thing. And through a mess of wires, there's an internal compartment in there that you can pop open. And there is a incredibly difficult to clamp down mechanism that you're able to smash into place. And then it slowly opens, probably about a foot. And you guys will have to pull the door open the rest of the way. So whoever's doing that, make me a force roll.
All right. I'll do it first since I'm right there.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so you kind of clamp this thing down, you get up, put your back on one side, put your hands on the other side, and just sort of stretch this thing open, and it opens a good another 3 feet. It's enough for you guys to get through, but there is no automated pistons that are making this thing go. It's completely manual override. And it stays open the entire time. So there's a constant open connection to your ship.
I want to try to close the door just in case.
Like
So
from
that
the
way-
inside?
Yeah, from the inside, so
Yeah.
that way if our ships disconnect, we don't get vacuum sucked out.
Yeah. That's a good call.
What if we need to run away quickly from the ghosts?
Also a good point.
I'd rather risk the ghosts than being sucked into the vacuum of space.
He does have a point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do all of you go inside? Okay. In that case, Raphael, roll me a force check again.
Force check.
Yeah. So you grab onto some interior handles and like begin to pull this thing down, and you can get it pulled down to the 1 foot mark, and that's where it locks. To get it to unlock, you'd have to disengage that manual override.
Oh, this is
Oh, go ahead.
this is the best I can get it. Unless someone else wants to try to brute force it.
Now that we're inside the opposing ship, can I scan the walls for one of the terminals?
Like look around for them?
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah, you can. You can look around. It is pitch black in here, so you'll take a -2 to your observation roll. Okay. Did you add was there a -2 in there as well?
No, I just rolled it. How do I do that?
At the top of your character sheet, see where it says modifiers, where it says positive and negative? Take the negative and make it say 2. Actually, you know what I can do? I'm going to add... no, I'll leave it alone. You guys are fine. And then just re-roll that with the -2. Basically removes 2 dice.
It just says invalid left-hand side expression.
Try again.
There we
Okay.
go.
No minuses. Just make it say 2. Okay, cool. So you succeed. Yeah. So you kind of squint down and you can see what little light is coming through like the tunnel, especially that now 1 foot gap from your ship. You can see the room that you're in kind of floods with light, which is just another one of those, like you can see the exosuits hanging in here. And you kind of get to the end of this, pull open the next door, and you can see there's a mainline corridor which runs the extent of the ship as far as you can tell, based on general ship schematics. And you see that, down about 10 feet is a slightly shiny portion. Because you boom, turn on your flashlight. There's a slightly shiny portion on the wall that would be a terminal, but it is not lit.
I'm not sure if any of the computers will work until we get to the main systems hall.
Does anyone have a map?
Can I pull it up on my tablet?
Do you have a map?
I don't think so.
And you can't pull it up on your tablet. You are unable to pull schematics for the ship because there's no power. You
Can
do.
I-
You would know. So all of you have a basic layout in your head of like how these kind of ships work. You know that the main corridor usually goes from aft to stern. So like you can go from the bridge to the reactor room is one main corridor on these ships. So likely if you follow this corridor in one or the other direction, you'll either hit the bridge or the reactor. And you know that the reactor is in the back of the ship, so you guys can make a pretty solid judgment call from the outside of the ship what the back is. Alternatively, Zariah and Raphael, you would both know that the suggestion that Agincourt had is doable. You guys could reroute power from the ship to power on the barest essentials on this ship.
think maybe that we should redirect limited power to activate the computer to see if we can get access to the map of the main ship.
Or at least a little bit.
What if I feel like I've heard that from somewhere?
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would never try to kill you guys with a ship.
Can I see if that's possible with my technology roll to see if it's possible to do it without draining too much power from the ship?
Yeah, you don't even have to roll. You know that's possible.
No.
Yep. It's just a matter of doing it.
All right.
As long as the ship remains tethered to this ship, you guys can redirect power. Obviously, it lowers the power capabilities of your ship, but if you're not on it, it's not a huge deal.
All right. I'll reroute some power to this ship.
Okay.
Only for long enough to at least check the map.
Okay. In that case, roll me a technology. Okay. So you are able to, take a quick jaunt back to your ship, head back to your reactor, and run power through the tethering cables. And so as soon as he does that in the after the ship, you all who are still in the Dark Star, the name of this freight liner, you see like a few small pinpricks of boop 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 light up on the floor of the main corridor. None of the monitors light up, but you can see the hallway slightly better than you could before. And Zariah or Agincourt, if you'd like to try to get into the mainframe and see if you can pull something, you're welcome to try.
You want to try it or me?
I guess I'll try it. Let's see. Do I want to use data gen or technology?
Yes, data gen. Success. Okay, cool. So with one success, you kind of pull up your tablet and you kind of plug this thing into one of the data ports in the area that you're in and begin to pull up information. You can basically redo the system scan you just did from your ship, and it pulls a basic schematic overlay. So essentially you have the wireframe of what this ship looks like. And it confirms this main corridor towards the ass end, that is where the reactor is. The opposite side is where the bridge is. And yeah, so you see this wireframe model that you can kind of move around on your tablet and get like different angles of, but it is a wireframe.
So I have the map for the ship, but is it telling me anything about life forms? Or
Nope. Nope,
no?
you have limited, like very, very limited capabilities right now because you're basically like, it's like if you jumped a car, right? So you're hooking up your tiny ship to this massive ship. So like imagine using your car to jump a tractor trailer. It's gonna be pretty damn hard. So you can you got the emergency lighting and you have like the barest emergency access to their computer mainframe.
Okay, if I unplug my tablet from the terminal, am I going to keep the map?
Yeah, you can save the wireframe.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the map, and guys, I've got the map. Let's head to the main hall.
Yeah. You also know that if you continue to plug in different places, there's an icon that is where you're plugged in. So if you like walk down the hallway and plug it in, it'll be like, boop, you're here now.
Can I
You
get
can
that tablet for a minute?
You have one.
No, I was asking her for her tablet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yes, you can borrow it for a moment.
I'm gonna hook mine in and copy the map into my own tablet.
Okay. Yeah, you can totally do that.
Just in case.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you guys have access to a map. You have the barest essential power for this this situation. And what are you guys doing?
I'm going to be constantly retrying to use my personal computer to make sure the ship's not being too drained of power as we're walking through this.
Okay,
this
yeah. So you have like a system on your data pad that lets you track your ship's levels, reactor levels. Cool. Okay. Who's leading down the hallway towards the reactor room? Zariah is? Okay. Our tank Zariah. Yeah, cool. So you begin to head down. Are you doing the whole plug and play thing where you plug in every, few terminals just to make sure you're on the right path?
Yes.
Okay.
And then as long as I know that I'm going the correct way, I'll probably only do it 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I've done that, I'm probably going to have my tablet on one side, and I'm going to take out my sword and put it at my side.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys all see... Now, is that a Dura sword, or is that the Mercurial sword?
Mercuria.
Yeah, so you all see Zariah have, like, a tablet on one hand, and then just... this, like, metal sword comes out of nowhere. And she is walking down the hallway. Who's following her? What's the order here?
I think
no
Maroof
reason.
would be next.
Sure. Okay.
Checking for ghosts.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'll be third.
Okay. And that puts Agincourt at
Be in
the
the
end.
back holding my own map, just calling out navigational corrections
Yeah.
in case there gets it wrong.
I feel like Agincourt's plugging into every terminal just to make sure they're on the right path. Okay, cool. So you guys make your way down. So the readings that you are getting, Agincourt and Zariah, because you plug in occasionally, you get readings from your suit and from the plugins. And you find out that the temperature inside this ship is there's no life support, meaning that there's no heat or cold like generated. There's no like air conditioning in here. However, it's quite warm in here. It's like 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's 60% humidity. So it's hot in here. This is like a Florida spring. So even though you have pressure sense, like you're pressurized inside your own exosuit, and that's temperature controlled, exteriorly, it is quite warm out there. And you guys can make your way down this main hallway. It's probably a good 15-minute hike from where you guys came on board, because this is a long-ass ship. And you make your way down to another set of these bulkhead doors. You would know that usually the reactor rooms are behind a double, or that double door that goes diagonally, the X door, to keep out any radioactive overspill. Again, no power coming through here, so you'd have to manually override this door.
All right, I go over, get in front,
Mm-hmm.
and go to manually override.
Okay, roll me a technology. Okay, so yeah, you get down there, you go through this panel again. You slam that manual override down. You close the panel back up, and you see one set of doors open about a foot, and then another set of doors on the opposite side go and open up. Together, they would form like a diamond, basically. So it's going to take some force to push these doors open. So I will take force rolls from everyone here.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
My tabs are sorted out randomly.
All right. So, Agincourt, you put your tablet down for a second. You put your Game Boy in your pocket, and you kind of give a heave ho, and you're able to get the first door open another foot. So you have like now basically a diamond-shaped rectangle that someone small could slip through, or you could try to push your rolls. When you fail rolls, you guys can push. It gives me darkness points, of which I already have 4, and you get to re-roll. So that's up to you guys.
To fit through?
What's that?
Am I small enough to fit through? I'm a pretty small girl.
It would take 1 more success for you to fit through because of the bulk of the exoshell.
Okay.
I mean, you can squeeze through, but you risk that it would. So either 1 more success and you can slip through without anything, or you can roll to slip through, and a failure could result in a tear in your suit.
I'm gonna roll to see if I can
Slip through?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, roll me.
Tears. I don't want that one.
Well, roll me infiltration.
Alright.
And you have a -2. No, you're good. Roll me infiltration.
What am I?
Okay, yeah. So you see this rectangle here, and you're able to get in. You'll be able to squeeze yourself through. The hardest part is the helmet, and then you pull yourself in, and you are looking at a reactor room. You're pretty sure this is a reactor room. This is unlike any reactor you've ever seen. You've been on shuttles, you've been on landing crafts, you've been on various different spaceships. You've never seen a reactor room like this. This is so the reactor room you're normally seeing is like a square room with like a central reactor that kind of connects to the floor and the ceiling. There's pipes coming out of it. This is a spherical room. In the center of this is a sphere that seems to be mounted kind of like a lollipop. And the whole room seems to be like this like shiny black, like obsidian, right? That kind of like glassy look, as if like it's like when you flash your flashlight around, it's like semi-reflective on the walls, and you see this big black orb sitting in there. It seems to be in what the hell are those called? It looks like a gyroscope. You know how that's like a ring and a ring that can kind of like spin around each other. It looks kind of like that, like those things you strap in and spin all around. It looks like that, but instead of a person, it's a ball in the middle.
Does it look like there's anything that I can plug into to kind of either get it back online or run a systems check?
Yeah, directly in front of you, there is a computer terminal.
All right, I'm hooking in.
Yeah, so you plug into this thing, and you get the same data points you saw before. And the terminal is dead.
Does it look like there's anything that I can do to try and...
Unless you have secretly specialized in reactor repairs, you can try to roll me... You can try to roll me a technology to see if you can figure out what's wrong with this thing.
Okay.
Can I assist her?
You are outside of the room.
Oh.
So unless you can squeeze your way in, that would be a hard no. So yeah, you jack into the system, and as far as you can tell, like you know basic reactor stuff, right? Because it's helpful to learn for any comms officer on a ship. But this could have been written in a different language. Like this is unlike a reactor you've ever seen before. You would think maybe, given Raphael's experience and what his background is, he might have a better shot at it. But
okay,
yeah,
I'm
this
gonna
is
go back over to the door.
Mhm.
Is there like a panel or something that I can hook into to try and get the door open further?
So you saw where Raphael opened up the manual override. You know there has to be one on the opposite side. So like if you get stuck in here, there has to be manual override on this side. So perhaps hitting that might make the doors easier to go. So yeah, if you want to roll me a technology to see if you can find that same hatch.
Could I give her an assist because she is right next to the door?
Yeah, I'll say you can talk her through it. So yeah, give her an assist. That's a +1 for you, Zariah.
No.
Unfortunately, yeah. So you find the panel based on Raphael's description, and you reach through the wires. You pop open the thing, and you grab the thing, and you're going. It takes a lot of force to knock that thing down. You can try it again with a force roll, but you risk breaking it. Or you can you can pray to the icons and re-roll.
I will pray to the icons.
Yeah, you will. See what happens. You still have a +1 from Raphael, by the way.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So the icons hear your plea, and you reach in, you kind of put a foot down on the floor, like where a door hits the floor to get that leverage, and you kind of fall back on your ass as you slam that thing down. And the door, you see the door slacken, and it. So the interior door is open about 2 feet wide, and the exterior door is now open about 3 feet wide. All of you can squeeze through without having to make a roll. It's just only one at a time can go through this door.
I'll go through first, since I probably want to hurry up and turn on the life support system of this ship, so that way we don't
absolutely
risk anything else.
Yeah, so you kind of grab on some handles and you slide through this door, and you see the same thing. This is again, even you who specializes in this area, you've never seen a reactor core like this. This has to be some kind of experimental drive. This is nothing like anything you've seen.
It's a ghost trap.
Could be a ghost
I
trap.
have a feeling this is probably one of this to recover.
Yeah, no doubt this is why they want this ship back so bad.
Well, as a reminder, they didn't say anything about bringing the ship back. In fact, they said retrieve the cargo and destroy the ship.
Yeah. Get rid of all traces of the ship.
Well, that would be the easy part.
Yeah, just put the reactor in overdrive. I'm going to try to see if I can use my technology with reactor skills to see if I can bring this ship back to somewhat power.
Yeah, you go right ahead. Roll me technology. Would you like to pray to the icons?
I would like to pray to the icons.
Go for it. I'll take that darkness point.
I'll pray directly to the deckhand.
Yeah.
For help.
I have 2 points in tech. Can I assist him?
Yeah, if you want to come through, you can give him a +1.
I'm coming through to help him.
There you go. Okay, so you get in there, and you begin like going through. Like you pull out the panel that's underneath the computer column that Zariah was tapped into. You flip some switches in there. You're reconnecting wires. You move on to another part. You like pull out a panel which is like hidden in the spherical black thing. You like see the lines. You kind of yank this thing up. You're switching things. And after a few panels get rearranged, rewired, levers get tossed. A few core cylinders get removed and put back in other places. You see that the interior circle begins to spin one direction, begins to like loop over and over again, and then the exterior one begins to loop the opposite direction. So one is kind of going around, this way, and the other one's going around up and down. And then you see that the black ball in the center begins to expand, and you see a bunch of like hexagonal patterns that are all over it begin to they kind of like go about like an inch apart from each other, and there's a white glow from inside where the black sphere was, and you hear that kind of noise as boop, 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 lights light up all over like a Christmas tree. This ship has received power. Yeah.
Hey, good job, Raphael.
All right, we're in business. And I'm suddenly Irish.
I'm going to be slightly paranoid. I'm going to double check with my data tablet, connect it to the terminal, and see if there's any radiation levels coming off outside of the core.
Yeah, okay, cool. Roll me a technology. Actually, roll me a science.
All right.
Are you trained in science? Yeah, you are. Good. You're good. And you no longer have that +1. So perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can either re-roll, or you can take whatever I'm about to kill you.
I take whatever you tell me.
Perfect. You, so you jack into this thing, or you don't even need to jack into your tablet. You can, the tablet, that's the computer terminal that's right there, you can remote right into that thing. As far as you can tell, that life systems are booting back up. So the scans are running through the rebreathers, the scrubbers. So all the systems are still coming up. And when you look into there, currently there is no extra radiation.
All right. Tell them I think we're okay, but don't take off your suits just yet.
Yeah. You do see that the doors, they did fully open as soon as the power came back on.
Can you lock the external hatch that we came through that we didn't shut?
Yeah, I should do that. See if I can do that from here.
Yep, you can. That's easy enough. You remote in, that thing closes. You can even plug your tablet in and sever the power coming from your ship if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Okay. Yeah, you do. You guys stand in a now functional reactor core. The lights are back on. You guys know that the scrubbers are turning back on. The rebreathers are turning on. Like all the systems are coming back on. What are you doing?
We need to find the cargo.
Sorted.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. So all of you turn around to leave the reactor core, and you notice that what was like shadowy and like the security lights, there seems to be like black liquid on the walls. Yeah. If you'd like to, roll me an observation. Anyone can make this roll.
Ooh.
Okay. So we have...
Tues, I'm all about it.
Yeah. So Raphael and Maroof, you look around and you see this viscous, like, goo, like, leaking down. And Maroof, you see it first, and you see it goes the length of this corridor, because that's the only room you can see into. You see that it seems to be, both of you see that it seems to be leaking out of the life support ventilation. So, like, turning that on made this stuff leak out. And Maroof, as you turn back to, like, tell people about it, you see that there are 2 vents that are high up in the reactor core, that it's now dripping down the walls there as well.
What did you turn on? Because it's leaking.
That isn't normal for life support systems. That something's in the life support systems. This should not be happening.
What are you two talking about?
Sure you didn't turn on the unlife support systems?
What?
Yes, I'm sure I didn't turn that on because that's not in the system. I'm gonna run back to the terminal and double check the scans.
Maroof will point out the drippy goo to everyone.
Yeah, everyone sees the goo, but now you could point out that they see it coming from the life support ventilation. Raphael, you're going to head back and re-verify your scans. The scans look the same as they did a few minutes ago. Now they're obviously still booting up, but as far as you can tell, all scans look normal. There are no blockages in the airways.
Hey, Maroof, I think we found your ghosts.
I know, right? And you all mocked me for it.
Well, it's fun to mock you.
Yeah.
Technically, it would be considered ectoplasm.
Ghost, alien fungus, whatever it is, don't trust it. Try not to touch it.
Don't.
Be wary around the life support ventilations right now. And I suggest we get this cargo and move it out of here ASAP.
But what if the cargo is the weird gooey stuff?
I mean, are you able to find some sort of cargo log to see what the cargo might have been and where it is?
I could probably go to the bridge and find out.
Yeah, I'll go with you to the bridge. We shouldn't be totally alone in the ship.
Because of the ghosts, right?
Yep.
So are all 4 of you going to the bridge, or are you splitting up?
Oh no, I would like to stay together, please.
Perfect. Okay.
I guess.
So the four of you head towards the bridge, which you know is that same corridor you went through, just the opposite end. So you guys slowly walk in your bouncy suits as the artificial gravity is being readjusted here. Again, it takes you about 15, 20 minutes to get, 10 or 15 minutes to get back to where your entry point was, and another 5 or 10 minutes past that to get back to where the bridge was. But you're able to do so. Type in the keypad, the bridge opens up, and you see an empty bridge. The screens kind of flicker on as they are coming back to life. And that's that.
I don't like the fact that we haven't seen a single body anywhere.
Yeah, weird, huh?
A little creepy.
Ghost ship. I told you.
I'm not liking that name.
I wasn't even paying attention to that fact. Why did you point it out?
I would like to go to the main bridge terminal
Mhm.
and port in so that I can get a better understanding of what the ship was carrying and what's been going on.
Yeah. Is Agincourt, are you helping with that task?
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull out both my standard tablet and my security tablet and help assist in case of like systems locking up, keeping things from locking down on her.
In that case, I'm going to have you roll 2 separate rolls. So Agincourt, roll your roll. So you have your security tablet, which I think gives you a plus something to technology.
I think it's more for. I think it's like a +1. I think it's like towards a specific thing.
It is. It's
I
toward,
don't
it's,
have
it's,
the-
it's towards technology. Do you have training in technology?
Yes, 2 levels.
Okay. So yeah. So if you would like, roll me a technology with a +1 from your security tablet. Okay. Fucking A. And Zariah, you can roll me a data gen. Okay, perfect. So, Agincourt, you tap in, you have the security tablet gone in there, you have your tablet kind of connected, and you're just going through, and you are bypassing security log after security log so that Zariah has as much access as she possibly can have. Zariah, as soon as you see these, like, you know, you're getting error message, locked, you know, password protected, and they're just boo, they're just going away. So you're able to easily get in. What are you looking for?
Information about what they were carrying, probably the last couple task commands that they've run, just to try and get a good idea of what's been happening on the ship.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you pull through. The first thing you find is incredibly easy to find. You find that they recently jumped from the let me see here. They recently jumped through the Altai system to Ordana, which is where you guys are now. You find that they are carrying bulk freight. This is unrefined mineral ores. It seems to be run-of-the-mill stuff. You also find that there are a standard ship's manifest. You find a personnel log of everyone who should be on the ship, and you find its tags, like the "We are this ship" kind of tags. And then you see layers of protection go away with the aid of Agincourt, and you find that all of those things are fake. Instead, you find that they actually jumped from an unknown portal location to Ordana, which you have no idea how they did that, because that's not how portals work as far as you know. You also find a ship manifest, which is entirely redacted. You also find a ship personnel log, which is also entirely redacted. None of the names match up. You'll see like a first name or a last name, and none of them match up with the other one. You also find that there are 7 more sets of keys of false tags in case they were stopped by any person's security or any other space nation's forces. So whatever this ship was doing was complete blackout through several layers of security.
Guys, I'm not understanding anything on this. The cargo is fake. The names are fake. Everything's been scrubbed.
That's why they want us to destroy this ship.
That's what they were hiding behind all that security.
But what's the cargo we have to retrieve?
We have no clue. It's all redacted.
Are you able to work out what the most secure part of the ship is? What's got the highest security around it?
Let me try.
As far as you can tell, the cargo hold. Outside the reactor, outside the bridge, the next one is the cargo hold.
Does it look like it's been opened or?
The cargo hold has been opened several times. Like you can find like door open close times. It hasn't been opened in like months. That's kind of how space travel works. It takes a while. So yeah, it hasn't been open in months.
Okay.
I'm going to do something a little bit paranoid real quick.
Sure.
I'm going to check my tablet real quick, check the life systems of our ship, and do a scan to make sure nothing got on our ship.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll me a data gen. Do you have data gen?
No.
Okay, you can roll me a science and see if that happens.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, you pull the life sign reading on your ship, and there are no life signs.
Check for unlife signs as well.
True. It's a good call.
While we're here on the bridge, I have a thought. We have to destroy the ship, right? Where's the nearest star?
So you're in the Ordana system. You know that the Ordana system has 2 stars, and you can easily pilot it. Well, I mean, not easily, but you can pilot this towards that if you need to.
I mean, we can just hit the self-destruct, can't we?
We could. But where's the fun in that?
Big,
I was thinking
big boom's
leaving
better than slightly little puff on a star. Much more fun.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking as an emergency, in case we can't do that, leave something, make a remote check, like maybe put my computer, tap it in, and so when we get off off the ship and on our ship, we can just send it a remote course route and route it into a star if we can't destroy it.
Yeah, but we'd have to follow the ship the whole way there. There's no guarantee that someone will try and intercept it.
Fair enough.
I think the first thing we need to do is check the cargo and make sure it's not gonna like murder us. And then if not, get it on our ship.
Let's be honest, we've been working together long enough. What isn't trying to murder us on these missions?
You know, don't remind me, please.
You guys are lucky the pay is so high. So as you're having this discussion, Soraya, I assume you're still kind of absentmindedly going through logs and stuff here. Eventually you click on one that seems to be the final distress call from the Dark Star. That was what prompted this whole mission. And you have access to that.
I'd like to listen to that, please.
Of course you would.
Play it loudly on the speakers or whatever so that everyone can hear it.
The Dark Star. Travel through dark space, reactivated. Experimental drive, containment unit, broken. Has escaped. Emergency assist. Distress. Again, this is a mayday call. Dark Star 1. And then it ends.
That sounds promising. Yay.
Anyone else unsettled by the fact he used the word escaped as in referring to something?
And all that interference is signs of ghosts.
It's true. Ghosts are known to fuck with electronics.
Yep.
10 Burr says that slime's the thing that escaped.
Okay.
I raise you 20.
Hurry, get the cargo, put it on the ship, and blow this one up. Quickly.
Yeah. How much time has
I like that
passed?
plan.
Since you got on the ship, maybe, I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes to an hour.
All right. I suggest not taking off our suits at all.
No.
Where are you guys headed?
I'm probably going to direct us to the cargo hold.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you easily find the cargo hold. It's about halfway down. There's a side door that leads down a set of stairs that kind of switch back, and it's the lower levels. The cargo is the lowest level, basically below the reactor. And I'm going to spend a darkness point. And as you all are walking, like as you pass by, doors open up on either side of you. Nothing happens, just the doors open up.
Raphael pulls out his gun.
Motion sensors?
Ghost.
I didn't expect any. I don't think there are any motion sensors on this ship.
Check with the terminal real quick.
Same.
Yeah, I'm on it.
So yeah, Agincourt, you don't even need to roll. As you go over there and you tap away at the panel on the side of the door, they are not, in fact, motion sensor.
That's not great.
Oh, great.
And as you stand in front of one of the open ones, in fact, anyone who's gathered around the door watching you can see that inside the room, the bright like halogen light flickers on, and you see that there is that black viscous goo is like not coating the walls like it is in the hallway. It seems to be like stringing like places, like as if someone like splattered it. It just like it goes from like the ceiling, it like ribbons down. There's like a few like offshoots. Like it's a big sticky, gooey like mass.
I vote on finding a different route.
Does anyone ever feel like we're in one of those? What are they? They were banned thousands of years ago. What are they called? Hentais, I think.
Wow. Wow.
Your porn tastes are always.
I said they were banned thousands of years ago. It's not my taste. I just know some things about culture.
The fact that you know about it still.
I know a lot of random miscellaneous facts that no one really cares for.
Clearly.
Raya will give them all the dirtiest look possible and just turn around and continue walking.
Okay. So you continue heading down the hallway towards the stairwell. And again, as you keep going, doors open on either side of you. And as you kind of look in, same. There's like a mass of sticky like goo around places. Eventually you get down to the halfway point and the door opens next to you. And it leads into a small, like 5x5 room. And you see that there is a corrugated metal staircase that leads down, kind of switch backing to the various floors, of which on this massive ship, there are 5 floors, and you are on the top one.
I'm going to consult my tablet. Which floor is the cargo bay on?
Floor 1, all the way down.
I'm going to look behind me. Has anyone followed me?
Has anyone followed her?
Maroof would be there.
Okay.
I wouldn't like it, but I would have to follow.
Okay.
Anywhere but here is good.
So it looks like everyone catches up to you.
Okay. The cargo bay is on the first floor. It looks like we're going to have to go all the way to the bottom. Let's pray this goo hasn't gotten down there yet.
Anyone willing to bet Burr on it?
Give me 1 sec. I'll pull out my recon probe and send it down.
Yeah, so when it like sort of levitates down the spiral staircase here, or the switchback staircase, and in the staircase, there is no goo.
I'll take that bet.
Well, you just cheated now.
You didn't say no cheating.
That wasn't cheating. That was verifying results.
You didn't
The
say
result,
no
the answer's already been given before the bet was made. Doesn't count.
We got to get down there. I don't want to be on this ship any longer than we have to.
Yeah, I suggest we hurry as well. As I stare at the goo that's slowly dripping down.
Mm-hmm.
Maroof will start climbing down.
Okay. Yeah, it's a staircase, so it just takes time. You guys begin to like head down a flight, hit the landing, head down a flight, same thing, back and forth. And as soon as you get to, so you get to like the little halfway landing, and then as soon as you get back down to complete the floor, the door opens on every level. In every level, you can see that, again, the lights are back on because you guys turned them all on. But also, there is this gooey strands in the hallways. So whereas on the top floor, it was just seeping down the walls, the hallways that you pass by, making your way all the way down, seem to look like the rooms. And because Raphael mentioned it to all of you, I will note that in all of this, all of the doors opening, all of the hallways opening, you haven't seen a single person. You haven't even seen a single non-person. Or corpse. Or unlife. You've seen nothing.
Any sign of anything else besides goo, like blood?
Nope. Just this dark, black goo.
Running theory, because as Raphael pointed out, we haven't seen any bodies, corpses, crew, anything. And all we see is this weird goo. Do you think it might be acidic in some place and it got on people?
I mean, I prefer to look at it positively, and if there's no corpses.
Can I do an observation check to see if it's actually corroded the metal on the areas that's stuck to on the wall?
You can do a science. Yeah, so yeah, you look at the ventilation system where it seems to have been seeping from, and the places where it's stuck to the walls, the floors, the doors, etc. No, there is no, there's no burning, there's no pitting, there's no acidic, sense at all.
There's no sign of acid from the slime, so it's not that.
Then theory debunked. Great.
So you're saying it's safe to touch?
Please don't.
No, I'm not saying it's safe to touch. I'm just saying it's not acidic.
I'll give you 500 burr if you touch it.
Do not.
Don't.
Does it have to be with my hand?
Yes.
No.
I mean, you are in a suit.
Do not damage your suit. If you damage it by touching the goo, I will not repair it.
There's no fun in this. And Maruf will just continue down the stairs and into the corridor with the where they're heading to.
So you make your way down again. Every single floor opens up goo. You finally make your way down to the lowest floor, and as you would expect, the door begins to open. Except it shudders open and only opens about 2 feet. You can get through it, but it definitely stutters as if something is preventing it from opening properly.
I'll send the drone through the door then.
Okay, yeah, you send the drone through the door, and unlike the previous 4 floors, the white, overhead lights are not on, but the side wall security lights are on. So this whole hallway is bathed in red, and you see that this is a massive tangle of these black strands of goo. Like, you're either going to have to, Durasword or Mercurial Blade through the hallway to, get through this hallway, or push through it with your hands or something.
Does anyone have anything that shoots fire?
Nope.
Not
I
me.
wish.
Oh, then Maruf will look at Zoraya's sword and say, I guess we're going the hard way.
I would like to go to one of the terminals at the door and see if I can't override whatever it is that's helping keep them closed.
You can, I'll tell you what, with Maruf, who put his drone out there, Maruf, you can have the camera turned back towards the door, and you see that there are black strands on this door. You think that's what's keeping the door closed.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to go to the door. I'm really not going to enjoy doing this. I really don't want to touch it, but I'm going to stick my sword through the door and kind of twirl it.
Mm-hmm.
Try and knock it off the door.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you put the thing there, you kind of scrape along with your Mercurial Blade, and the strands they just pop off from where they recoil almost after this, as if it was stretched, and you cut it and just sort of bloop back to the previous connection.
Okay.
So the doors, as soon as you do that, the doors, they shutter open all the way.
Does anyone else have a blade?
I have a normal sword.
I have a rifle.
I have an old metal sword, a Vulcan gun.
I've just got a knife.
I've got this taser.
That's not going to help us. Get up here with me. So
I
you can
have this
hack
taser. Oh, God. Okay.
That's all I got is a stun gun.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Actually, this stun gun might work if this is living.
Could be.
No, it's unliving.
If it's living, it hasn't attacked us so far. Let's not hurt it and piss it off.
Says the person that just cut it with a sword.
Yeah.
What?
Ironic.
What? Who's killing you? Yeah, so the two of you, Zariah and Raphael, you step out in front with your swords in hand. Maruf and Agincourt, you are towards the rear. You can see from where you step out, you can see where the cargo bay is. So it's probably only a good 15 feet in front of you. And that means it's the rest of the ship long. And as I spend another darkness point, you step out into the corridor and you hear several times as doors behind you in the hallway shutter open and eventually open fully.
Can one of you quickly start shutting those doors behind us?
On it.
So, let me explain this better. You walked out of the stairwell. There's goo strands on both directions. You cut the ones directly in front of you, leading towards the cargo hold, like you cut the first few. These doors open behind you through a mess of tangled goo. So for you to get back there and close them, you either need to cut them down, weave your way through them, or ignore them entirely and see what happens.
You just want me to shut the door behind us?
None of us opened the door. So whatever's opened the door is opening it for a way towards us.
You can see at least 4 doors have opened behind you.
Well, if we have doors opening randomly on us, there's not really much we can do about it because if we close doors behind us, we block off our escape route.
No. So it's doors in the hallway, not the stairs back up. Doors in the hallway behind you.
Oh.
Yeah, so you guys can still escape up the stairs. Just 4 doors behind you in the opposite direction, a direction you did not come from at all. 4 doors just opened.
You might want your taser out.
I barely know how to use it anyway. Don't think it would help much. Like I said, I'm a non-com.
Maruf, you have your work cut out for you.
I mean, they're behind us, so why don't we just go in the other direction?
That's great. That's the direction you have to go. So, Zariah and Raphael in the front, you begin just cutting strands, or are you doing this in a strategic way?
I'll try to do it in a strategic way.
Okay. In that case, let me see here. Roll me a melee combat.
All right.
Okay. Zariah, are you just fucking Indiana Jones in this shit, or are you trying to be tactical about it?
Oh no, it's essentially going to be a machete fight.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you just Indiana Jones these gooey strands away, whereas Raphael slowly cuts certain ones to kind of get through. But either way, you guys spend the next 5 or so minutes cutting down this jungle of black goo and making your way to the cargo bay door. The 4 doors that had opened in the hallway behind you remain open, and red light kind of streams into the hallway from them, matching the red light in the hallway. But with nothing coming out to kill you, the door, you guys get to the massive cargo bay door, and you may... What do you guys do?
Before we open this,
yeah.
I would like to run a scan inside the cargo bay. Now that we're closer, there should be a terminal
Yeah, right outside the door.
Do it.
Yep. What are you trying to scan for?
What systems are on and life forms.
Okay, yeah. Roll me a data gen. Okay, cool. With 2 successes, you find that only emergency services are on here. Only emergency systems are on, hence the red lights. The door access is still open. That is still a function of emergency, as is the fake gravity, as is the oxygen scrubbers, or the ventilations. With the second success, you see that there are 35 life signs.
There's something in here, and 35 of the somethings. Guys.
And can you distinguish if it's human or not?
Yeah. How many crew was there?
It did show a manifest. The fake manifest had 30, and the redacted manifest also had 30. Whether that's true or not, you have no idea.
Can I see what kind of life forms they are, or
it only tracks like life form.
Prep like we're going in for murder. So whatever you have.
I put my sword up and take out my gun.
I just want to, like, that's the movie poster right there, is you have this tunnel with, like, all the characters in it, the cargo bay door opening, and that's where the camera comes, is through the cargo bay door towards the characters, and you have the sword, the rifle, and you just have Agincourt in the background holding a taser.
No, I'm not holding the taser. It's, like, downside. I'm just holding a computer in one hand.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so how do you guys prep for murder, as Zariah put it?
I have my sword out, and Agincourt, I would suggest you stay in this hallway. That way you can stay linked to the ship's computer. Try and do anything you can to help.
Could have done better with that from the bridge.
Maroof will get out of his exoshell because he can't shoot for shit with that thing on.
I would strongly suggest not coming out of it. If this room is full of that goo, we don't know what it'll do if it makes contact with human skin.
And as Maroof's popping off his helmet, he'll go, "What did you say?"
Put your suit back on.
Put it back.
Perfect. As you disengage the Kevlar reinforced helmet, and you take it off, you breathe in, and it's hot. It's fucking hot in here. It's like, it's hotter here than it was upstairs. It's probably like a good 85, 90 degrees Fahrenheit here. So, no, it's the same temperature as it is where you are right now.
Yep.
Except it's humid. It's like tropical humid here. Like, as soon as you're sweaty, it's wet. You're like, oh God. Like, you can feel the air on your face. Like, it's like, it's not that like oven dry heat. It's sweaty heat. As if you are in a place you've been, the forest, the jungle forests of Kua. It's like that. It's like being in that swampy area. And you can smell. You assume it's this black goo. It smells like burnt hair. Like that acrid smell that like only burnt hair smells like that. It's a constant permeating, like, oh God, whatever that is, it's awful. And that's the closest thing you can think of is burnt hair. And as soon as you like take the helmet off and you turn and say, "Oh, sorry, what did you say?" I'd like everyone besides Maroof to roll me an observation check.
Hey.
Wow. 2 criticals. Okay, cool. So I will do this. I will say, I'm just going to say, you don't even have to roll for it. You do a thing. So he turns to you, Raphael, and says, "Sorry, what did you say?" And as Zariah and Raphael are turning to yell at him to put the helmet back on, you see that there are several of the strands that are just like kind of dangling from the ceiling that you guys had cut and had retracted. You see them bulb out and look almost like flowers, and then you see them peel back and look like stamen of a flower, and then poof, several pods of just spores explode into the air. And because of the double crits there, the two of you are quick enough and you see it fast enough that as soon as you see it start to like grow and bulge, you tackle Maroof to the ground. And poof, 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 these pods explode. And you see this like black dust sort of just slowly fall like ash to the ground.
I quickly try to force his helmet back on and close it.
I think with a 5 critical, yeah, you like get it onto his head, whether it like seals or not, but you have it on him. And these this like black goo ash cloud just sort of falls down around you. Because the three of you are laying on the ground, the ash, this black goo ash lands on you. And you can see Maroof pieces just landing on the glass case of your helmet. Agincourt, you were just far enough back that this thing exploded forward, they collapsed, you see it landing, and you were like maybe 2 steps away from this rain of whatever the hell this shit is.
As I'm like holding him down, I'm gonna sit up a little bit with just my shoulders. See, we told you to leave it on. You never listen.
You guys have chat to thank for that.
Thank you,
You three
Chad.
idiots, okay?
I don't know. I think I pulled something when they tackled me, but
3 idiot. I think it's just a 1 idiot here.
No. I think there's 4 idiots here because we all agreed to this.
Accurate.
I mean, we learned something we didn't know. Don't take your helmet off.
I was paranoid enough to not do it from the beginning and suggested not to do it at the beginning.
Don't you feel vilified?
Yes, I feel verified. Double check the life support scan to see if there's any more life forms that popped up once they did that.
Nope. Let me clarify, because someone in chat did mention it. Are you scanning the ship, or are you scanning just the cargo bay? Because Zariah scanned the cargo bay.
Scan the ship.
You scan the ship. So as this is going layer by layer of the ship, this is the first time you've scanned the entire ship since returning the power, you see that there are 150 life forms. 4 of them are you.
We need to hurry now.
Where are the closest ones to us?
The cargo bay. There are several. Judging by the blips on this, again, it's a wireframe, and it actually just shows boop, 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 like lights. You can see that there are probably like 20, maybe 25, somewhere in this floor. Like scattered throughout this floor. It's hard with the wireframe to know if they're like in the hallway, which obviously you can look back and you don't see any, or the rooms in the sides.
When we were going down the hallway, were the hallway doors opening?
Nope. When you went down this hallway, the moment you walked into the hallway and started cutting strands, 4 doors in the opposite direction opened up, and you guys said, no, let's deal with that later.
Okay. Do we want to check for life out here first before opening the cargo bay, or do we just want to open the cargo bay?
I say we're gonna have to go fast, rough, and get the fuck out.
I think just open it up.
You know, I have 4
We're
darkness
already
points.
in the thick of this.
I'm going to spend 2 darkness points because you guys have been here for a while. Maroof, as you kind of get the helmet back on and you got to like clasp it onto your neck, it's not going, buddy. Maybe the fall shook it. Maybe you don't know how to put a suit on properly. You don't know. But whatever it is, you can't cinch that helmet to your head.
He'll look at Raphael and go, fix it, 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 fix it.
I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it.
You can roll me a technology to try to fix
my advanced tools that give me the +1 I need to help fix it.
Is your advanced tools a Let me double check here. I think advanced tools is
I can
like
assist him.
is a desk. You can't assist on this one. Let me see here. Hold on, Raphael. Let me double check. Yeah. So you can get a +1 tech with that. Now it's too small of a thing for you to do anything besides look on and like you missed a spot. So that won't actually give him a.
Right.
You can't hold the helmet still.
I mean, Maruf's doing that. There's no. It's one person, so it's too small of a thing to assist on this one. But you will get the advanced tools. Okay, so you are able to get in there with your advanced tools and pop whatever mechanism had been bent that clasps it on, and you're able to, and it like pops on into place, and you feel that like suction, Maruf, where the suit repressurizes.
Before I walk away, I want to look inside his mask to make sure nothing else got in there.
Ooh, good call. Roll me an observation. You know, sometimes players have the damnedest ideas. I'm going to spend a darkness point. As you look into the suit, you see that there is... I imagine these like the very back of them are like solid, and the whole like the majority of them are opaque, are not opaque rather, are transparent. So you can see like way more than 180. So you look in, and you can see that on the back side of the glass here, there's black spots, and so you kind of like run your hand over the back of his helmet to try to brush them off, and your hand passes right behind them. There are 3 black spots inside the back of his helmet.
Oh no.
Is there a decontamination chamber somewhere on the ship?
There would be in the med bay, which is on the 3rd floor.
I think it'd be already be contaminated on this ship. We'd have to get back to our ship.
You do know that every floor, the door opened and there was black goo strands.
I'm still tempted to bring you up to the med bay and try and put you in the decontamination chamber, and then also your suit.
You and me both would also have to get decontaminated too, because we're covered in the spores as well.
True.
We just can't get in our suit.
That is if you guys are smart enough to know that is if the decontamination chamber hasn't been contaminated. The safest bet would be your ship.
Maruf, do you want to go back to our ship and decontaminate, or do we want to risk it?
I'm not going there by myself.
Well, obviously we would have to go with you. We have to decontaminate as well.
We're also probably going to decontaminate any cargo that we bring in.
True.
So
it's best to get the cargo and then go.
Yep. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. So you stand in front of a giant cargo bay door. You guys opening this thing up?
I go to the manual override because I have no doubt that the door's not going to open willingly.
That's fair. Roll me technology. You go to the manual override. It is broken. You pop the terminal open, you push the wires aside, you open that little back panel, and you see that where the double rod, like the handle rod kind of thing is, you see that the handle is snapped off. There are just 2 pegs sticking out. So you are unable to grab onto anything and lower it down.
Okay, so since I have the talent gearhead, I'm going to jerry-rig it to open up. Yeah,
use that talent. Okay, cool. So yeah, you use your talent to jerry-rig that. What does that allow you to do?
One-time use jerry-rig.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So describe how you piecemeal this thing together with parts you have on you.
You see me just grab a stock for a random gun that someone has, probably my own, and I quickly modify it to see if to fit in directly onto where the lever would be.
Mm-hmm.
And basically duct tape, pray to the deckhand that this works.
Bubble gum, spit. Yeah, no, I get it. And then you crank that thing down.
Crank it down.
And the door, you see like the door begin to like crack almost, like there are horizontal lines that go, horizontal lines that, and you see the door begin to do like retracting up, like kind of like a garage door, like it has that fold, and you see this as it begins to go up into itself, opening up like a garage door. And you see before you a massive cargo bay. Like you could fit your whole ship in this cargo bay. This place is dark, but for a few red spots, as if like the emergency lighting here is kind of covered up. And you see there are massive strands of this black goo, like going from the side to the side, floor to ceiling, like webbing back and forth. It looks like this is like some kind of rat's nest spider web. And as your flashlights turn on your suits, you can kind of scan the room. You see there are a shitload of crates that are on here, and you see that there are a bunch of like oval-shaped, like oblong lumps on the wall, just completely black goo.
If we survive this, we're buying a flamethrower.
I second that.
Agreed.
You guys stand in the maw of this giant cargo bay cavern. What are you doing?
I guess we're gonna machete our way through.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
What do y'all think those lumps are?
People.
Probably.
They're people.
Ghosts.
Yes. Well, they're ghosts now.
Oh man, Maroof, poor guy with his ghosts. So yeah, you guys begin to hack your way into this thing, and again, as soon as you sever it, like boop, it stretches back out to wherever the end point was in either direction, and you're able to kind of cut your way through this area. Again, it's very dark in here. A lot of shadows, a little bit of red light coming out. Your single focus flashlight beam only casts like a 2 foot wide beam in front of you guys, angled towards the ground. But you're able to slash your way through this. Now you can see that there's probably like 100 crates in here. You could take them all and fit them on your ship. Your cargo bay is big enough if you properly stack and organize them. But you know that's going to take a lot of time. There's ones that are like 2-man carries. There's ones that are like you can just grab a couple of boxes and just take them out. There's boxes of varying sizes. Are you guys going to attempt to prioritize these somehow, or what's your plans here?
Weird.
Can I do?
Oh, go ahead.
Can I do a quick observation to see if there is a airlock in the storage room?
Yeah, you don't even have to do an observation. You look around. The ass end would be an airlock. That's how you would load it from outside the ship.
I got an idea.
What are you saying,
Go
Rose?
My idea is risky, rash, and we might lose some of the cargo in this. Can we remote access that airlock?
You could try to rig something.
All right.
Right now,
Sure.
no. You could rig something like with computers or some way to remote access it. I don't think any of you have the parts to do it, so you'd have to roll to just try your best.
I think we're having the same idea. Do we want to try and port our ship to the airlock and just load from here?
I would not directly connect our ship at this rate because of this goo is so contaminated in this room. I'd rather have all the cargo go in the vacuum of space for a little bit, hopefully kill what's ever covering it.
That's actually smart. Let's do that. I like that better.
What if the cargo's living and that kills the cargo?
I doubt it's alive if it's covered in this goo.
And also, if it was living, it would have died when the power went out because there was no life support for a while.
Point?
A while being months.
That brings up a good point. If the life support system was not on for that long, how is this goo still alive?
It's ghost goo.
it means it probably doesn't need it.
So even putting it out in the vacuum of space might not even do it.
It won't kill it, but it'll honestly make the cargo a bit easier to get and less risky to get because we could basically see what's covered in what and then pick and choose what we need. Or we
Hopefully
can bring it straight into decontamination and remove whatever's on it.
Hopefully the radiation helps kills it. Because if the radiation of space can't kill it, I doubt our decontamination units could.
And we still have to blow this boat up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm willing to try anything at this point. Anything to get off this derelict piece of crap.
Any of you able to get the ship to come around to near here, or do we need to just vent and then go back to the ship?
It would probably be wiser to vent and then go back to the ship. Or alternatively, go back to the ship and then vent. Would we be able to do that?
You would have to rig up something to be
Yeah.
able to control the access door.
Is there any kind of material handling mechs or shells or something in here that are close by?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me an observation.
Can I also do an observation roll too?
Absolutely. Maroof, yeah, you see there are a handful of exos. There's actually a couple of vehicles in here too. Like you can see towards the back, there's a crawler. There's a couple of like grav craft as well. But yeah, you see that there are they're like basically cargo loaders. Like think of the end of Aliens when she's in that mech suit with the grabby clip, the grabby hands. There's those things. It's a loader exo. So essentially, it is either think Aliens or Avatar. You basically get in the front of the thing, and you put your arm through, your other arm through, and you can maneuver your arms to like pick up the cargo and like walk with it.
Can you hack that? That's not going to move by itself, is it? That's not self.
No, you have to be inside of it.
And we won't be able to get into that with our exoshells.
Correct. Yeah, your
But is
your exoshell kind of like clips into it. Like there's like ports you can plug into it.
So can we
Rhodes,
use
you're
that?
muted. What were you
Can we
saying?
use
Snow?
that? Yeah. Should we just someone get into that and see if we can barge our way through those strands to the doors, the cargo doors? Such a,
If no one else
Uh,
wants to do it, I'll get in.
I mean, I'll do it. I just want to know if it's a good idea. The last time I did something without asking, I got in trouble and tackled.
That is true.
True.
It might work.
Yep. Oh, I'll jump in.
Okay.
Wait, before you go in, I want to double check to make sure how the
What did you
spores are
say?
doing. No.
You decompress. Explosive decompression. Weird. You're checking on the spores in his helmet.
Yes.
Roll me an observation. Also, have you told him about the spores, or are you just letting that go?
Oh no, I told them. I've said it like countless times. We all had to we would all have to decontaminate
Gotcha.
because the spores got on us and in the suit.
They're gone. There's no spores in there.
That's not a good sign. I
Yeah,
don't like that.
you look at the inside of the helmet. There's no evidence of spores at all. Like there's no like slippery goo trail. There's no strings anywhere. They're just not there.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
You announced that you don't see spores.
Yeah, I do.
I look
And I
at the
don't
back
like
of his
it.
head. I look at the back of Maroof's head.
Look
You
through the
have
back
to
of the
take
helmet.
off the helmet.
Looks like it's the back of a helmet. It's not glass all the way around. The back part of your head, like a mohawk, is that's the solid part.
Do you feel any discomfort, like itching in the back of your head right now?
I mean, I've got some crotch itch because of the humidity before, but
It's reasonable.
I mean, I've got enough contaminants in my body over the years. I think I'll be fine.
Just don't take your helmet off again.
So, Maruf, do you head to the loader exo?
Yep.
Okay.
Roof will head.
Okay. So you head over to the loader exo. There are I assume you have like some kind of combat knife, right?
Yep.
Okay. So there's some strands you got to kind of like clear off this thing. So I assume you just kind of cut through your combat knife, and then you're able to pull yourself up into the loader. Kind of like put your arms in. There's like a mechanism that you clip into the wrist. On the other side, you clip in. There's two like back plates you just kind of lean against, and you can feel it like press into you, like pressure on your back. And then as soon as you have all three clipped in, you see that on the arm of the left arm of the actual exo, it like and you see like it's powered by you, and you see all of the normal readings that you would see, like your O2 levels, all that kind of stuff. Your health signs are now displayed on the left arm of this massive machine, and you can move it. Now, it definitely takes like a bit of force to move. It's kind of like running underwater, but like you're able to force this thing to move without having to roll anything. It is powered, just inconvenient. And what are you doing with this thing?
So just using the arms to clear away strands leading to the cargo bay doors.
Okay, cool. So as you get this thing up and you get in the thing and you begin to like, get used to using it, right? You begin to like clear a bunch of strands away. And as soon as you like throw your shoulders forward to like get the arms engaged, two big like floodlights light up this room from the shoulders. It is a loader after all. And you guys are treated to the best view of the room you've had thus far. And you can see that there are these strands all over the place, and you see that as Maruf like swings and a bunch of like strands like snap, right? And you see them recoil backwards. I would like the rest of you to roll me a observation.
I would actually like to use my my talent is situational awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You always know your surroundings and get a +2 to observation when testing it to discover an ambush.
I'll allow that.
Cool.
That's a group talent, so if she uses it, we all use it.
Yeah. Well, one person uses it, but yeah. It's just used for everyone. At the same time, it is the end of the... it is towards the end of the episode, so now's as good time as any. Okay, so we have successes on everyone. So as Maruf snaps these bands, and you hear bing, 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 as they sort of like extend back. That suspension bridge sound when it snaps, that like winding metal. They all snap back, and you guys followed them for the first time, really, watching them snap back. And you see hanging in the center of the room is a giant orb of this black goo that these beams that he just chopped begin hitting back to that thing. As soon as he like swipes another hand, you see these the strings of this goo back to this black orb.
Does anyone have a long enough range gun to shoot it?
I mean, I do, but I'm kind of occupied.
I don't think I want to shoot it. Let's just send all this out.
Okay.
And hopefully that'll suck it out as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Maruf, you begin clearing strands, and you see you're clearing them off the boxes. As soon as they snap off the boxes, they just head backwards. Some of them like head to the box, and there's like a little bit of goo on the boxes themselves. But the strands all kind of seem to head back up towards whatever this orb is. And, within maybe 10 or so minutes, you're able to snap most of these things just by walking around the room and swinging your arms in a hurricane kind of mode. So you make your way around the room. You got most of the strands, or at least the ones you've deemed important. and you're able to head back to your group still in the mech. Yeah, it would be fairly easy to hit that vent button and send this all out into space and see whatever happens to the orb. The only thing that you notice after having walked around, you don't even have to roll for it, is there is all of the oblong shapes that are still plastered to the walls. There is this now orb hanging above you, and the 100 or so varying size cargo crates.
Maruf won't even say anything. He'll just start moving boxes towards the cargo bay door and say, "Let's get this going."
Yeah. So Maruf, you begin to load. You grabbing the heaviest boxes, stacking them by the door in a neat and organized kind of way. Agincourt, Zariah, Raphael, what are you all doing?
I'm going to quickly check up on our ship's status.
Mm-hmm.
Since I haven't done that in a while.
Mm-hmm. What are you looking for?
Just to make sure that all the systems are still up, we still have power.
Yeah, systems normal.
Good.
So I guess if we're figuring out what we're going to do with the cargo, how are we going to blow up the ship now?
Raphael said earlier that we could just overload the main reactor core.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could, but we'd have to be in the reactor room, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I'd have to go back to the reactor room and set a timer if possible. I'd probably need assistance with programming it.
I could probably sacrifice a computer or two. I'll just buy a new one.
And if anything, we'd have to get this ship, but we'd have to also go to the bridge to make sure the ship starts moving.
I mean, the outside of the ship's probably the quickest way there.
If you're suggesting we vent into space and spacewalk up.
No.
How's everyone's oxygen?
We've got spacesuits on.
Yeah.
I think they're 8 hours, so you guys are down by 2.5 hours.
Unless you want to go walking back through all that black crap.
We walked here through it, didn't we?
True.
I want to look back to make sure the doors are still open behind us.
They are. And they're loud. You'd hear them close.
Let's just get this done first.
All right. Is there any rope I can tie all the cargo together to real quick?
Not as far as you can see.
I've got hyper rope.
Oh.
You have 50 feet of hyper, right? What is it? How many feet is it?
Yeah, 50.
Yeah, that's not going to be... You could tie a couple crates together, but that's not enough. There's like 100 crates of varying size. You would need cargo netting to keep it all in one lump.
Is there any cargo netting in the cargo bay?
No. You would think there should be. There is not.
Maybe you can use some of the black goo to kind of stick them all together.
I would not. Let's not add any more goo to it than there already is.
It is a suggestion. At least he's thinking of something.
If anything, we have cargo rope, or not rope, but net on our ship. Once it's out, we can go
Wrangle it up.
Wrangle it. But let's vent it first.
Okay. What's your plan? How are you venting it?
Probably having everyone leave the room and going over to the terminal nearest the actual cargo bay door.
Yeah.
Space and see if I can't mechanically open it.
So you want to leave the room, close the cargo bay door from the...
No, all of them leave the room.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to go to the cargo bay door, like nearest the outside.
Yeah.
Like in space.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to borrow Maruf's rope and tie myself to something to right there.
Yo, Techie, do these boots have magnets?
They do. Yeah, they're
do.
used for spacewalks as well on the side of ships and shit.
All right. Well, I'm going to activate my magnets then.
Okay. So you want everyone to leave this room. You're going to activate the cargo bay exterior door. Are you going to close the interior door?
Well, I mean, if they have magnets too, then
Yep.
I guess technically they could stay.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Maruf would stay because
everyone go to the
he's still
sides
in
of the
the
door.
exo.
Yeah, and Maruf, you know that the same way you activate your boots, you activate the boots on this thing as well.
Yep.
Okay, so all of you activate your magnetic boots. Zariah, you head over there, I assume with Raphael probably, to activate the cargo loader door. And I would like one of you to roll me a technology with a +1 for the assisting of the other one.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay.
Ooh. You want to pray to the icons?
Done it.
I want to pray to the icons.
See what happens.
All these darkness points.
I know.
Ooh. There you go. 2 successes. So, together, you guys get into the terminal, whether physically or digitally, and you're able to work your magic. Your boots are clamped down, and you begin to lower the... This thing begins to fold out like a gangplank on a ship. As it begins, like you see these massive pneumatic pistons driving this thing down. And as soon as the seal pops, you feel that suction, and you can feel all of your bodies like lift like up towards where the seam is in the top, like it's pulling you out that way. And as it opens, that lift becomes a little bit less, as it's no longer trying to suck you through, but just out, and you feel that pull towards the back. Your magnets are, massively powerful, so they hold on to you. And as soon as the door comes open, you still feel that suction out into space. However, it's slightly lessened than what it was when it was a smaller crack. You see all of the crates that you had there push up against the door, and as soon as the door begins to 45 degree, they begin to like slide up the door. And as soon as it gets lower, as soon as it gets like maybe halfway, they're out into space. And there you see them all just floating in various distances from wherever they slid out into space. However, you see that the oblong shapes on the walls do not move, neither does the giant orb.
To be honest with you, that works better than what we had planned.
Yep.
Blow the goo up with the ship.
It's not a bad plan.
Now we just need to blow it up.
Yeah, but first let's close this. Try to close this door before we try moving out.
I'm still in favor of sending it into the sun, because what if the goo survives the explosion and just spreads out and slaps on our ship?
Fair.
Weird.
We could blow it up while sending it to the sun, as long as it's, I don't know how many light years away from us.
Actually, we might want to. Oh God, I don't even know how this reactor will react going into a sun.
Yeah, you don't know what the reactor is.
For all we know, we could be blowing up the sun.
I mean,
Worst
I
case
don't live in
scenario,
this
we create a
system.
black hole.
I'm not too worried.
As
Yeah,
long
I have no
as we're
connection
far
here.
enough away from it, it doesn't really matter.
We gotta
For
make sure
now-
we put a tracking device on this ship before we leave, though, so that way we can make sure it blows up.
Absolutely.
Becky, does a level 4 communicator have a transponder? I could just leave mine here, turn it on, and we could just follow it.
A level 4 would have you would be able to communicate with it, like back and forth from your ship. I think a level 4 is planetary to orbital. So you have a good distance on it, but you'd have to stay, like you couldn't leave the system.
I was thinking of like turning on like a transponder.
Unless
the
you
ship
have
itself
one.
would have a transponder.
The ship itself has a transponder. You can track it as far as it can go.
Let's make sure we track it.
Again, you'd have to stay in the system.
Yeah, but that would be far enough away that we wouldn't get sucked in by a black hole or something.
Yeah, you
Hopefully.
can do the math on that. You think?
Cool.
Let's
right
do the
now,
math first.
Yeah, you guys can take a few minutes here.
All we have to do is make sure it gets into the point of no return, and then we can leave. All we have to do is make sure it gets into the point of no return, and then leave.
That's true. Once it hits the gravity well.
for right now, let's close the door and get back to our ship.
And hope.
I still think the quickest way is over the surface of the ship. I mean, we've got spacesuits. We're essentially in vacuum now. We've got boots that magnetize.
How long would it take though, magnetized boots walking across the ship? Because we only have less than 6 hours of oxygen in our suits right now.
It depends on the pace in which you're going. If you're running, the exertion would expend oxygen faster. However, if you're walking at a normal pace, it'll probably take you the same amount of time to navigate around the ship as it would to go through the ship. The difference is there's no gooey strands on the outside of the ship, as far as you know.
Fine, let's risk it.
Let's go.
You're not doing anything with the reactor?
How are we going to set a course then?
Yeah, we do have to go through on the inside.
Can we do it remote?
No.
We can still go around the outside back to where we came in because the reactor's right on that level.
That's true.
Check the diagram to see if there's actually an airlock near the reactor room.
The closest airlock is the one you guys parked at.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to disconnect our ship from this yet.
Let's just go back up through.
Oh, I was hoping to take this toy with me.
I mean, you can get out of it, disengage the magnets, and float it into space. You could probably fit on your ship too.
Just magnetize it to the back of the ship as we go off.
Yeah, on your ship. It's like a man, like a Lego on top of the ship.
That's just another thing we'll have to decontaminate.
It's true.
Let's go.
Okay, so you guys are headed back out of the cargo hold. Okay. Are you doing anything before you leave the cargo bay?
No.
Okay. So Maruf, as soon as you disconnect from the exosuit, your boots remain magnetized, and you're just gonna like pull them off, and you land back on the ground, and you're magnetized again against that pull of the space. So yeah, you guys have slow going because you are magnetized because the ship has depressurized. Now there is again no oxygen in the ship. And because of the successes you rolled, I think you rolled 2 successes on the bay door. You jerry-rigged it so that all of the airlocks that would have closed up across the ship when they sensed the breach, they didn't actually close up. So you guys still have access to the ship if you want it. So you guys head back out of the airlock. Are you closing any doors?
I would like to door directly on the other side of the cargo bay.
So the interior door?
The jerry rig broke after first use, and I don't have another stock too.
Actually, that's where I might park the exo right in front of the doors. I'll let everyone get out of the room, then park the exo right in the doorway. Okay.
Cool. I can deal with that as soon as I rearrange all of the cameras.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is easy enough for you to do. You park. You basically pull this giant robot to the door and then disengage. Fairly simple process. God. And you guys begin to head up. The first thing you notice is that the strands you had cut are now back. So you have to cut back through this area. And you see that the 4 doors that had opened up further down the hallway past the stairwell, those are still open. But other than that, it seems, fairly routine. And you guys are able to cut your way back through towards the stairwell. And the stairwell is again clear. Maruf, if you send your little guy up there, coast is clear. You guys head back up the stairs, and at every landing, the door is open.
I'd like to close the doors to the stairwell.
Yeah, they close behind you automatically. Oh no, those ones you had to fix. Yeah, so you get those closed. But then every other landing, the floor is closed. Oh, sorry, the door's open rather. And you eventually make your way to the first floor, unless you guys want to do anything different.
just head straight for blowing the ship up and getting out of here.
Okay, perfect. Unfuck these cameras. God, why? This is my life. I got Jenga. Fucking. All right. Matt, stop losing connection. So you guys get to the top floor. You guys get to the top floor. Again, you are midway through this floor. Halfway to your right will lead you to the reactor. The other halfway to your left will bring you to the bridge. Where are you going?
Do you guys want to split up and 2 of us can go to the reactor and 2 of us can go to the bridge to try and set a course?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea for me and you to not be in the same group, since we are the only ones that have swords, just in case we see any more of these tendrils blocking anything as we go. So that way the other party doesn't get hindered.
Perfect.
Well, I can't do anything with the reactor. I don't know all about that sciencey stuff. I can do the bridge, though.
Then come with me.
All right.
Okay. So we have our bridge team of the 2 hackers, the 2 data gens, and we have our technician and our scout heading towards the reactor. Great. So yeah, we'll follow the reactor team first. You guys head down, hacking your way through, because you do notice that on this floor, much like the ones below it, there are now strands in this hallway. The lights are still on. It hasn't gone to emergency lighting yet, but the goo that was leaking down the walls is now cross-connecting. And as you go, you actually see like a tendril from one side of the wall and the other side begin to like stretch out as if they're going to connect, and you kind of chop one of them. And you head your way down towards the reactor room. The reactor room is wide open because that's how you guys left it. And you head in, you see that the giant orb in the center is still cracked open, and there's like white light coming from it, and the center one spins this way, and the other one spins on the outside. And you see the terminal is lit up.
All right, I'm going to try to, quickly as I can, try to see if I can jerry-rig a time detonation with the system itself.
Yeah, you can roll me a technology. Okay. You can rig with 1 success. You can rig a near field time detonator, which means you have you have within 100 astronomical units, you can trigger a detonation that gives you a 30-second window. You have no idea what the explosive range of this catalyst will be, and you hope that 100 astronomical units will be enough.
I relay this information to the rest of the team with my communicator.
You do know that some planets are like 60 or 70 astronomical units from their sun, so it's a pretty good distance. You just have no idea what this reactor is.
I inform everyone, I don't know how big this explosion will be. We only have that much room. We may be planet killers if this goes wrong.
I never liked the planets in this system anyway.
Maybe
Yay
we'll
for
get a
Death Star.
bonus.
Hey, at least we have proof we destroyed it. And
But how would we get out of the ship within 30 seconds?
No, you. So
it's
you
a
have
remote detonation.
Yeah, you can be 100 astronomical units away from here, detonate it, and then it detonates in 30 seconds.
All right.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, cool. So yeah, you set that up. As you guys traverse back towards the other direction, the camera cuts to the bridge team. You guys again cutting through these strands. You make your way to the bridge. It opens up, and the bridge is exactly as you left it. There are no strands here.
All right.
all right, where's the navigation controls?
I mean, they're right there. So you begin heading towards the navigation controls. Zariah, what are you doing while Agincourt is trying to get into the navigation systems?
I'm probably going to try and bypass security for him, as
Okay.
he was doing earlier.
Yeah, roll me a datagen. Okay. Yeah, so you're able to remove some firewall access. Agincourt, you have access to the navigation, the flight data. What are you doing?
I'm going to set up the chart a course to the nearest star.
Okay. In that case, you can. Let's see, Agincourt, you can roll me. You can roll me straight up agility and hope for the best.
Agility.
Yep, because you are not a pilot and you don't have pilot skills. So navigation controls and piloting are not your wheelhouse.
All right.
Okay, you chart a course. You have the general relative location of the nearest star system, and you have charted a course in that direction. And that's the best you can hope for. Without an actual pilot on the ship.
As long as it hits the gravity field, we're fine.
You hope. Okay, cool. So, you do that, and you guys head out of the bridge? Okay?
Yeah.
So you head out of the bridge. You know, you guys walk. You guys basically meet up at the tunnel back to your ship. Yeah, the four of you reconvene. What are you guys doing? Are you heading right back to your ship?
Yeah, we need to hurry back to our ship as fast as possible. Disconnect this ship. Run to decontamination. Decontaminate us first. Grab the cargo. And then start the ship on its trajectory.
Okay. Go ahead and spend one darkness point. You guys see the running lights on the ceiling that are all like the white lights. You see them flash white, red, white, red, white, red, and you would know that this is like warning klaxons. Zaraya and Agincourt, since you have been jacked in and out of this system multiple times with your tablets, I assume there's still some kind of connection you guys are doing your best to keep. So you start getting alert warnings. Alert, alert, exterior pressure, change, levels, and it shows you all the levels changing on the exterior pressure. It says blast doors, ceiling, and you can see on the schematic the doors are locking down in the other floors. And then you see towards the reactor, a door locks down, and then the bridge you just went through, door locks down. And it says exterior pressure, containment breach.
Run.
All of you go. And we're going to book it.
Okay. You begin to run.
I'm first in line. I'm going to run to every door, force the manual lock open.
On the door out?
On the doors out that are in a lock.
So to get to your ship, you don't have to worry about that. It's the one that was
okay.
like the bridge got locked off and the airlock got locked off. So yeah, you guys make it to the bridge that connects your, I forget what they're called, but the thing that connects your ship to the other ship. You're able
to have to be in front.
Yeah, you open that door, let everyone go through, you slam that thing shut. So yeah, you guys are running fairly slow with those magnetic boots on, but you're able to get back there, and you're able to get back onto your ship. What is your plan?
I immediately disconnect our ship as fast as possible.
Yep. It is a good, 45-second as it, extends backwards inside of it and, closes itself up. But the door is disconnected.
We're going to have to... Yeah, you, me, Marf, decontamination immediately. We have to get this ship back the fuck up.
Okay. You know that decontamination takes time. 10 minutes a person.
Maruf first.
Yeah, he has to go first. Take off.
Go in and take off.
Go in, take off your suit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So Maruf, you run to the med lab. You deactivate the magnets. You're able to get there as quick as you can. You go to the med lab. You step in. This is a state of the art. This is a ship from the company. This is a state of the art med bay. You walk in. There's a contamination unit that will fit all of you. And you get inside and it closes and you see the steam begin to rise up and the pressure changes in there and you feel all this air and shit coming at you. And you guys can see through this glass door as he's getting bombarded with whatever chemicals are neutralizing that. Are you guys all standing there, or do you head somewhere else?
I
Should be trying to get the
Our
cargo.
ship.
yeah, I immediately go to our car. I start running towards our cargo area.
I'm running towards the bridge.
Okay. Agincourt, you run towards the bridge to start, maneuvering the ship as best you can. Raphael, you head to the cargo to get that place loaded up and ready to go.
I inform. Try to find the cargo. Line up as the direction it's going. I'll open our airlock. Hopefully, we can slide it in, close the doors, and hope for the fucking best at this point.
Yeah, I'll say you also have like cargo grabby arms that like will assist in pulling things into the ship that you can use. Zariah, what are you doing?
A couple different things first. We can't get the cargo in our ship until we get the goo off of it while it's outside. I don't want the goo inside the ship. And two, because it's our ship, I should be able to tap into any terminal and be able to like run the ship.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have access to the ship's stuff from anywhere on the ship. It's easiest from the control panel, and you have no way to clean the goo off without it getting in your cargo hold. You don't have like outdoor scrubbers in the vacuum of space. So you'd have to get it on your ship and then bring it to the decontamination chamber.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so are you where are you going though? Where are you headed?
Oh no, I'm staying in the med bay.
Okay, so you're hanging out in the med bay. Agincourt, you run to the bridge. Raphael, you head towards the cargo bay. Agincourt, I need you to roll me sanity. I need you to roll me actually, I do need you to roll me sanity. I need you to roll me wits. Just straight up wits. Okay. Wow. Composure of this nerd. So you hop in, a lot of the ship is automated. They know you don't have a pilot. So you have like not an AI, but like a pseudo AI that does this. So you kind of jack in, get the computer going. You back up, you feed in the details of this plan between you, Raphael, Zariah, and it begins to take off. And then you see it. You see the last corruption bar. You see what the hull breach was for. As you lift back and up and go towards the back of the aft end of the ship, you see that there are these massive tendrils coming out from the opened airlock that is pulling itself out onto the top of the ship. Whatever this thing is, its body has to be about the size of your ship. And you see it, these like arms pulling itself out of the back of the ship. This looks like the only thing your mind can comprehend is this looks like a gooey oil spider. Your best guess is whatever was in that orb floating at the top of the cargo bay has hatched and is pulling itself out. And you can see it move towards you. And you can see it like there's stuff moving on it. And you can see there are hundreds of tiny little ones crawling all over it as you pilot your ship over towards the back of this thing. As soon as you get into a near enough position, Raphael, you can see on your systems where these cargo loaders are and where these cargo boxes are, and you begin loading it. And as soon as you like pivot one of the cameras on the arm, you too can see this ginormous spider creature. And I need you to roll me a wits as well.
Wits.
Just straight up wits under your attributes at the top.
Okay.
Okay. You also regain your composure. You refocus those camera arms. You start grabbing things. As soon as that cargo load goes down, you're grabbing things in there. Zariah, what are you doing?
I'm going to be watching Maroof to see how he's reacting to the decontamination bay.
Okay. Maroof, the first cycle of decom ends, and then you can hit the button again and begin to remove the suit off of you because the suit has been decontaminated, and now you can get some decontamination. And again, the steam sort of roils up. You get hit with this water, this chemical bath, basically, and you seem normal. I mean, it stings a little. The water's a little hard. The pressure's a little aggressive. You know, you can feel a sizzle in a few places, but, you know, you've had chemical burns before. This isn't your first chemical bath. It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, he'll kind of look at Zariah and go, bit of privacy?
No.
There is an opaque white line that's right around where, like, your nether area would be.
All right. Also, there a like computer at the decontamination chamber?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to scan Maroof for anything that might be not nice.
Yeah. Okay, so you can roll me. You can roll me wits. Just straight up wits. Okay. So it's because you're not trained in medicine. It's, you know, you can read certain signs. As far as you can tell, he seems clean.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Maroof, your thing ends, and there is, you know, you kind of have to step out there. There's some towels around, some clothes. But yeah, your thing ends, and Zariah, you are able to get in if you so choose. In the meantime, Raphael, you're still grabbing things. Agincourt, you have the exterior cameras on, so you're kind of watching this creature. Maroof, what do you do once you get out of here?
I'm gonna chime in over comms. Guys, there's a giant space spider outside.
I see it. If it moves any closer, forget the rest of the cargo. Just start getting the F out of here.
Where's the weapons terminal again?
I'm not up there at the moment. I'm too focused on this, and I'm not removing eye contact with that creature.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm gonna look for the weapons terminal. You make sure it doesn't get any closer.
Yeah. Okay, so you begin to look for the weapons terminal. You both hear, Zariah and Maroof, you both hear this coming across your comms. There's a giant space spider. As ridiculous as it sounds, because it should be ghosts. But yeah, you begin looking for the weapons terminal, Agincourt. You're like sliding terminals around, and you find there is a weapons terminal, and there is one weapon on this terminal. It is, in case of boarding, it is like a turret that automates and fires on anything that boards the ship. Other than that, there is no external forces. You could hack that and try to make it shoot out. But that's up to you. While you're contemplating, Maroof, what are you doing?
Maroof will get his gear and just start heading to the cargo bay where Raphael is.
Okay. You do know that the cargo bay is open, so you'd have to get into a new suit to be, you know, not lose pressure.
Yep.
But yeah, so you're able to do that. As soon as you get there, you'll see that the blast door is closed, and you can see there's a computer terminal with the screen on, and you can see him loading things in. You can open that, but it's going to immediately, you know, temporarily depressurize the cabin. But it seems like everyone else is in exosuits as well.
Yeah, Maroof will just head on straight through.
Okay.
To give a hand.
So as soon as you hit the button to do that, you guys get the warning signs, and because you're in your own ship and the exos are assigned to the ship, your magnetic boots, they automatically clamp on, and you all feel that suck towards the back of the ship as the blast doors open, and my autofocus is on apparently, which is great. That's super cool. Cool, love that. You feel that suction towards the back as the door opens, and then it relieves as it closes and the klaxons end. Maroof, you are in the cargo bay. You see that Raphael is pulling things in. You're magnetized down. You're able to like grab boxes and reposition them if you so choose. And you see this giant tentacly spider thing, and I need you to roll me a wits. Tension. You're good. You see this thing for a second. You kind of stop and realize, oh shit, that's a giant monster. And you begin to, okay, we gotta go. And you begin to move these boxes out of the way. Is there anything the two of you are doing or talking about while you're in there?
I try to sneakily look at the back of his head real quick to make sure that nothing.
He is in a suit again.
Dang it.
Yeah, there's no oxygen in here. You guys are loading a cargo.
I would have seen it while I was in with him.
What's that?
I would have seen it while I was.
Yep, you saw nothing. And you scanned him. There was nothing.
I'm just gonna slightly keep like once in a while glance over at him, make sure he doesn't do anything suspicious, then turn my attention back to the spider.
Okay. Maruf, roll me an observation. Okay. So as you drag one of the boxes, like one of the larger ones, towards the back, and you go to the front to grab a new box, you see this hulking creature like pull one of its arms back and just whip it towards your ship. It obviously doesn't reach your ship; it's too far away. But you see it whip it, and for a second, you're like, "That was weird." And then you can see black moving towards you, which is very hard to see in the darkness of space. And then you realize it just shook off something. And there are several somethings hurling towards your ship. You do have your gun on you. But you see this. These little black dots are moving towards your ship.
Yeah, Maruf will immediately unsling his rifle and just... Actually, he'll pull out... He's got a grenade, so he'll pull Raphael in.
Yep.
Toss the grenade out and shut the doors.
Okay, so you pull the pin on this thing and you hit the doors. So the doors begin to like close up because it's the exterior cargo door, right? So it begins to slowly raise, and the 2-second pin on your grenade goes off, and the whole ship rocks forward. The blast of this in space, and you just see like combustible and fire kind of explode and like ribbon out in space because it's liquidy in space. And you see several of the boxes sort of like get blown off in different directions and just slowly continue moving because there's, no friction. But this thing rocks. Zariah, you feel the rock happen. Your boots had demagnetized once the interior door had closed. You kind of like go for a little bit of a tumble. Agincourt, you kind of hit the dash on the ship as it rocks. And you get reports, boop, 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 hull damage, aft of ship. And it reports like, percentage damage, ship degraded. Raphael, you get yanked backwards towards the back of the door by Maruf as he throws that thing out there. And you see the door continue to, you see like bright light over the top of it and it seals up. The arms kind of retract to the back of the ship. You guys have probably about 25% of the boxes in your ship right now.
That's all we're going to be getting.
Okay.
Get the ship out
What the
of
heck
here.
was that?
Get the ship out. Don't worry about it. Go, go, go.
All right.
Okay. You begin to pilot the ship.
I firewall the engines.
Okay. Raphael, are you doing a detonation? What's your plan with that?
I'm going to have to wait till we get at least as far away as possible before I set it off.
Okay. So you're going to try to get to that 98 astronomical units and then boom, hit the button?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I just want to know what your plan was. Zariah, what are you doing? You hear all this chatter going back and forth.
I'm going to start the trajectory for the ship so that it starts hopefully flying towards the star.
Oh, it's been doing that. You guys had to catch up. You did that already. You plotted that course and hit the go button. You guys had to follow and pick up to get the hell out of there. There's no way to remote it from where you are.
All right. In that case, I'm going to hack our guns.
Okay.
To make sure.
Great. Yeah. Roll me that data gen.
No.
You want to push it?
I'm going to pray. Yeah.
Okay.
Still no.
Ooh, no, no, no. Okay, cool. So you are at the terminal, right inside, still probably inside the med bay. You're at the terminal, poking things around, and you get access to the turret, which is, like I said, it's a boarding turret. So if anything gets on the ship, like inside the ship, so you see and you move it to wherever you can, like whatever. There's a camera on it too, and you move it to wherever you can. It won't fire for you, it won't like automatic fire, but you move it and you see that there are like half a dozen of these little creatures moving across the hull of your ship. What do you do? You're muted.
I'm going to move closer to the turret.
Yep.
Like through the ship, and see if I can't directly link to it and see if it'll help.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. Roll me a technology. Okay, you do.
Okay.
You do. So I feel like, Maruf, Raphael, are you headed back towards the bridge?
Yeah, I'm gonna head back towards the bridge. I'm running to decontamination to decontaminate my suit at least.
Okay, yeah, so you head towards Medical Bay. Maruf, you're in a clean suit. Maruf, I think you have the most experience around weapons that anyone does in this ship. You hear this, like, wee noise, and you know that it is a rotary turret. That somebody is firing a rotary turret. And you can hear that echoing through the ship. And as you kind of like run by, you see where like the weapons pod is, which is like just off of the bridge. And you see that Zariah is tablet in hand, jacked into like the ceiling. And she's like fucking hitting buttons, and you can hear just coming from there. So you can see that she is firing at something with like reckless abandon. You can also hear the occasional tink, 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 tink as ballistic fires hit the side of the ship.
I'll just say to Zariah, do you need me to get out there and clean anything off?
I don't know if I want you out with them. And I also don't know if I want to give them a way in. But if you would like to assist with shooting them, I feel like you might be better at it than I am.
I can try.
Okay. So do you hand off the tablet to Maruf?
Yes.
Okay. So Maruf, it's like a video game, you know? You gotta point and shoot. So roll me a ranged combat.
Nope.
You know, it's
I'm
harder
definitely
to.
gonna pray.
All right, go for it. Oof. You know, it turns out it's harder to navigate through the screen than it is to hold an actual gun, and it's a rotary turret, so like it's hard to adjust for the kickback, especially in space where it's like, so it's, you know, it's hard. You see the camera and you're moving it around, and you like make an arc over the ship, and you see like one of these little things like poof, like go off into the space. So you're hitting them. It's just they are advancing, and you're able to get most of them, all the ones you can see, at least. Zariah, do you stand by there, or do you head somewhere else? Muted.
I'm going to let him sit here and shoot them. I'm going to go back up to the bridge and see if I can't activate the cams on the outside of the ship.
Yeah.
So if there are any.
So you head up there, and you see that Agincourt has like all of the screens because he's the only person in here. The autopilot's doing its best, but he has like 9 screens, and you can see that several of them are the exterior cameras because he was watching the spider. So Agincourt, you are completely aware of the spiders that are on the top of the ship and the fact that Maruf is blasting them with ballistics as you are trying to manage everything that's going on in the ship single-handedly. So Agincourt, what are you doing when Zariah walks in the door?
Do I notice her walking in the door?
I mean, you can hear the of the door.
You hear about the spiders, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have some on the ship, so let's try and get as many off as we can.
Well, we only got the one gun, and I assume someone's working it. All I can do is just make sure we go on the right course. Honestly, if we want to get rid of them, we might want to just jump.
That is an option. Let's try it.
Okay. So, as our episode winds to a close, we see the last of the ammunition spent hitting the sides of the ship, knocking off the last spider thing that you can see, Maruf. As far as you know, there was only a couple that you saw originally, and you're pretty sure you got them all off. We see Raphael get out of the steam-filled contamination unit, as Zariah and Agincourt are doing their best to plot coordinates, get the jump master ready before they're even close to one of the rings. As one of you leads back to go get decontaminated, Raphael, you join them in the cockpit and you hit that button, and way behind you, you can see a little bright flash of white. It takes a few minutes to get to you, but you see a bright flash of white, and then it's gone. Out. We see you guys pilot. Go ahead.
I think someone owes me 20 burr.
That's true.
Dang it.
We see you guys piloting towards the ring. There's a short montage of communication between the portal master and you guys, and you see the portal kind of ripple to life as you are ready for your jump. And with one darkness point left, we see a single spider plop off the side of one of the boxes and scuttle underneath one of the corrugated floorboards of the cargo ship. And Maruf, where would you be as you're about to make the jump? Right before you guys get into cryosleep.
Maruf heads back to the medical bay, and using his Medicurge talent, he'll purge any medical records.
Okay, yeah, roll me. Actually, I'm not going to have you roll that. You can you purge the medical records of everyone or just you?
Just me.
Okay. So you purge yours, and as you take a little breath of relief, and you head down towards the cryotubes to prepare for jump, you hear in your head,
"Thanks for the ride. Think we like it here. We'll stay around."
And that is where we end this episode of our Patreon one-shots called Dark Star. Bum, bum, bum.
Great. Now I owe Raphael 20 burr.
Now we found out how...
That's all you take from it.
That's
the thing you're most upset about.
Right.
I have to fix the ship after we get out of jump.
I'm so excited.
Well, my headcanon for Agincourt is he's a freelancer. He only works for the mercenary group because he gets paid well.
So I'm going to tease this for everyone watching. If you aren't a member of the Patreon and you don't have access to the after shows, here's your teaser. Maruf, Snow, that's how you get your flaw.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll talk about that in the after show. But until then, let's go around, do our introductions. We'll get the hell out of here. Do that after show. Put it on Patreon, and we'll start with our newest face on the channel right now. I mean, you've been here before, Will, but this is your first time in a while. So, Will, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm the Red Oak Shield Virus. I try to come in as often as can, but third shift life doesn't always help out with that. You can mainly find me around here once in a while when I get the opportunity.
Hell yeah. Perfect. Matt, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm D173. I am God damn it. Sorry, I'm scatterbrained.
He is Agincourt.
I am scatterbrained. I am Eldridge. You find me on Mike's Discord, and also Red Oak. I know your pain. I work third shift too. It sucks.
It is a pain.
And if I get off my lazy ass, I might make a parlor one of these days.
Rose, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I am Rose. You can find me on all forms of social media as Mrs. Make You Mad, but you will mostly find me on TikTok and the Discord.
Hell yeah, you will. Go follow those TikToks. And Snow, last but not least, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
So I'm Norm or Snow. You can probably not find me anywhere as Snow Dogs because I rarely do anything on anywhere.
Fair enough. With that, that's it. That's the end of our Patreon one-shot day. We're going to go film our after show. We're going to put that up on Patreon. If you guys aren't there, go check it out. It's only $5 to get a handle of those. And as I said before, it is Small Business Saturday. We are a small business here. So if you would like to support a veteran-owned business, our Patreon is the best way to do it. And even our lowest tier, the $2 appreciation tier, is a huge help. So get on over there, hit that button, join the community. And while you're at it, click on that Discord link down below and join us over there. Be a part of the conversation. I think that's going to be it. That's it for this month. We'll see you guys next month. From us to you. Bye-bye.